Item agenda number 6. Consideration action of monthly investment report, financial reports of all current accounts and funds, authorization to pay invoices for memberships and professional services. Ms. Osiris. Yeah.
The investment report stayed relatively the same. We did get U.S. Steel payment, so you see a bump up of that amount. You have two memberships in your packet. One is for TWA annual dues and one is for NWSA annual dues. We do not have a bill from Sledge this month. I tried Friday again to see if I could send it, but they don't have it ready. So there's no legal professional invoice in this packet. For the financial side of it, we received a little over $20,000 from RFB Operating Company that y'all approved their contract about the last 2 meetings. And we expect about $10,000 more to come in this month, so you'll see the next financials. This is the 4th month of zero pumping for Harlton. They have a leak in a creek, so they're waiting for rain and water to go down before they fix it, but we're expecting them to fix it within the next month. So hopefully that number will be 0 going forward. We have very minor capital expenditures this month, only less than $5,000 worth. $4,000 that was for security cameras and installation at the Hugh Springs tank, and just a little miscellaneous for the Tanner valve and motor repair at the Clearwell. And that's all for the financial side of it. I will need y'all to approve also the memberships and financials.
Okay. All right. Any comments or questions, board?
I will pull the NWSA, make it a separate item.
Away from the item number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve everything but NWSA.
Okay. I got a motion on the floor to have a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Got a second to that motion to approve the monthly investment report, financial reports of current accounts and funds, authorization to pay invoice for membership and professional services, excluding NWSA. Okay.
Yeah, excluding, right.
I said excluding NWSA. All those supporting that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
No.
Okay, got one no vote on that. Okay, all right. Do we at this time want to make a motion about NWSA?
I move that we no longer
Participate.
participate with NWSA.
Okay. Is there a second?
I need to know what the initials are.
National Water Supply Alliance, and if I could take a second here. just-
You can, yes, yeah. New board member, yeah.
National organization that addresses itself solely to the supply of water in the United States. It was made up about 2019, and I was appointed to the board of that in 2021, served on that board since then, and was appointed to be the membership chairman in 22. And we went from, when I got on it, had 20 members, it's now 41. It's a small organization because it only deals with the water supply in the United States, which means we coordinate almost exclusively with the Corps of Engineers. The Corps of Engineers is the operating authority for reservoirs in the United States of America. They have contracts to get their water out there for industrial use, municipal use, and any other use that those authorities decide to deal with. We, here in this reservoir, deal directly with the Fort Worth office, the district office, which we have a very good working relationship. I can say that in the period of time, there is some question about the use of the money of the $5,000 for joining us against the return to this organization. And I will point out that last year, the Corps of Engineers for O&M, which is operating and maintenance of our reservoir, which they control, jumped us from $300,000 roughly each year for the preceding 10 years to $500,000+ in 1 year, a substantial increase out of the blue. They didn't do that just to us, they did it across the nation, people that had reservoirs. There's about 120 reservoirs across the nation that have core contracts, okay? Corps of Engineers is the people that deal with water. They deal primarily with navigation and flood control. 81% of their budget is for those two things. Only 19% of their budget is for water supply. The NWSA, along with several other organizations, joined up to confront the Corps about this O&M increase of suddenly almost doubling their cost last year. Went to GAO, General Accounting Office, GSA, General Services Administration, and they leaned on the Corps of Engineers. The Corps of Engineers rewrote almost 100% of these O&M billings around the nation, and ours was dropped from $500 to $300, which was a savings of $200,000 in 1 year to this organization alone. We think it's money well spent, and I would propose that we continue to participate.
Okay, very good. Any questions besides what?
No, that was the question.
Okay, very good, very good. So did you make a motion?
I made a motion
To not participate?
not participate in
Okay.
NWSA.
And do we have a second? Okay. Seeing there is no second, the motion dies from lack of support.
You'll have to make a motion to approve it now.
Yes, we have. I will entertain a motion to approve membership in NWSA.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion by George.
I'll second.
I got a second by Robin. All those supporting the motion for us to continue
No.
membership?
Now we just have discussion.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Come on, discussion.
So if I'm gonna spend $5,000, I wanna see a return on that investment. He just laid out the fact that they went from 300 to 500,000, but that's not necessarily a true reading, because the core expense, since I've been here, has always been a variable expense from year to year based upon what the Corps is required to do. So to say that you got it,
Didn't say I did.
the NWSA got it reduced is a false statement.
Didn't say this.
It doesn't just cost us
Numerous-
$5,000 a year, it costs us all the associated expenses that go along with this organization, which are quite expensive as well. So that's why I see no return on investment with this. This $5,000 would be better spent. We don't have a federal problem, we have a state problem.
Right.
So our money would be better spent in the state than it would be outside the state.
May I respond?
You surely may. We're in discussion of that motion.
What is our annual budget here? What is the top line of our annual budget? $8 million. You're talking about $5,000 against $8 million not being a good investment. I didn't say NWSA caused GAO to correct this problem. I said NWSA was in a mix of organizations, the American Waterways Association, several other big organizations, all the river authorities in the east had that same problem. In California, all the reservoir people over there had the same problem. It was a nationwide emphasis in Washington to ask GAO to ask the Corps to explain their line, how they did this, and they couldn't. Consequently, they reduced this. Now, whether they did it in previous years, or they did it, we're going to do it again, I'm just pointing out in 1 year we saved $200,000, not because of me, certainly, not because of NWSA alone, certainly, but NWSA was part of a group of people that were able to convince Washington, D.C. to go look at this and put the pressure on the Corps to go and re-examine it, and we got it lowered, that's all I'm saying. I would say 5,000 against 200,000, not a bad return at all. The other expenses he's alluding to are my travel expenses, which I go to 3 meetings a year. I go to the Washington, D.C. meeting of NWSA, where I stay for 2 days. I go to the annual meeting of NWSA, where I stay for 2 days. And then there's a board of directors retreat that I go to for 2 days each year. That's 3 meetings out of the city, and those generally run somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,500, I believe, total. So you're talking about another $4,500. So we're in and out for $9,500. Those are the additional expenses he's alluding to. Again, $9,500 against $500,000, against $200,000, not a bad return.
Okay. Any more discussion?
I'll just reiterate the fact that NWSA did not encourage anybody to do anything. Our core expenses are variable based upon what the core of the division in Fort Worth decided we need to do it like the fine. 9/11, we went over $1.5 million because of safety procedures that had to be put in place.
Rightfully so.
That expense came way back down within 2 years.
Probably because of NWSA.
Well, the core expenses oscillate tremendously over a period of time. I've seen it as high as $500,000.
Yeah.
And to say now it's 200-something thousand is to be true, but it's a rarity, and it's going back up again.
But we've had a good working relationship with the core of this district, and when we want to know something, they've always been forthcoming and giving it to us.
Couldn't agree more on that. We have an excellent relationship with Fort Worth, as we also do with Washington DC, where we have a civilian group of people that run the water supply end of it, and they come always to our annual meetings as well as us going to see them in Washington DC.
All right, any more discussion? Any questions, board? Questions? Okay. We've got a motion and a second to continue to participate in NWSA going forward for another year. Seeing there's no more discussion, no more questions, we will proceed to vote. Those supporting the motion to continue participation and membership in NWSA, please raise your right hand. That's 3 votes yes. Those opposed, raise your right hand. Okay, we got 3-3. Okay.
Make a motion for reconsideration in the month of July.
Okay, okay. All right.
Second that.
Motion failed on the membership. Got a motion and a second to reconsider membership in NWSA in the month of July. Okay? Those need a second.
Second.
You got a second? Those supporting the motion to reconsider membership in NWSA during the month of July, signify by raising your right hand. Okay. Those opposed? That's a 3-3. So, neither motion passes because we have to have a majority vote.
Majority vote.
Absolutely. So, at this point in time, I will just make a comment that NWSA, we will have some more discussion and talk amongst yourselves as board members, and we will probably put that back on the agenda for the July meeting. Not necessarily for approval or disapproval, just on there to generically take action at that potential time. Okay?
Please don't, please don't talk about it outside open
Yes.
session.
Okay, we won't. We know the rules. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. So, the motion for item number 6 passed, excluding NWSA, okay? We're moving to item 7,